Imagine cooking just a flawless meal.
Right.
You box it up perfectly so it stays hot. You hand it to a driver, and then you take 30% of the money you just earned and literally throw it directly into the garbage.
Yeah, it's a brutal mental image, but it's accurate.
It really is. And I mean, for years, that has been the harsh, completely unavoidable reality of restaurant delivery apps.
Oh, absolutely.
But if you are an aspiring restaurateur sketching out your first business plan, or maybe a current owner desperately trying to audit your tech stack, or just a curious foodie wondering how your favorite local takeout spot manages its digital storefront without going totally bankrupt, this deep dive is for you.
Because it really is the hidden machinery of the whole hospitality industry, right? I mean, a great menu brings people in the door, sure.
Right, the food is the hook.
Exactly.
Right.
But the underlying digital infrastructure, the ordering systems, the data routing, the payment gateways, that is what actually keeps the lights on and the margins intact.
And we are totally pulling back the curtain on that machinery today.
Yeah.
So we're looking at a pretty extensive 2026 to 2027 guide. And it compares 10 different alternatives to a really major restaurant platform called UpMenu.
Yeah, it's a fantastic source. Very detailed.
It is. And our mission here isn't to just read off a boring list of software specs and subscription prices.
Nobody wants to listen to that.
No, definitely not. We want to decode exactly how independent restaurants are actively fighting back. How they're taking their power away from those massive third-party delivery apps. So, okay, let's unpack this. Where do we even begin with the current state of restaurant tech?
Well, we really have to start by establishing the baseline conflict that birthed this entire software ecosystem in the first place.
The 30% garbage cost.
Exactly. For a long time, the default strategy for online ordering was just surrendering to the third-party giants. We're talking about your Uber Eats, your DoorDash, Grubhub, and the cost of that convenience is just staggering. These platforms charge punishing commissions, usually anywhere between 15 or 30% on a single order.
Which is wild. I mean, for an industry where a healthy profit margin famously hovers around, the 3 to 5% mark?
Yeah, 3 to 5% is considered doing well. So giving away 30% of gross revenue just to facilitate a delivery it's mathematically unsustainable.
It's a slow bleed.
Yeah.
The restaurant is doing all the heavy lifting, right? Sourcing ingredients, prepping, cooking, packaging, and they're basically working as an unpaid kitchen for the delivery app's logistics network.
And that underlying frustration is exactly what created the market for platforms like UpMenu. UpMenu has been around since 2012, and it positioned itself as this great cloud-based escape route.
The ultimate lifeline.
Exactly. The pitch was incredibly appealing. You pay them a flat monthly subscription, and they provide you with a branded website, your own mobile app, and crucially, zero commission ordering.
Zero commissions.
Mm-hmm.
The magic words.
Right. The restaurant takes back its profit margins, and it reclaims that direct data relationship with its customers.
That sounds like the perfect happily ever after. The restaurant gets a sleek digital storefront, the parasitic third-party apps get cut out entirely, and the customer still gets their food.
But this raises an important question.
Oh, I know where this is going.
Right. If UpMenu is the ultimate silver bullet solution to the third-party app problem, why are so many restaurant operators currently out there hunting for an alternative?
And that right there is the core tension driving this entire industry shift. Because the promise of a zero-commission platform is amazing, but the restrictive reality of how these subscriptions are structured is causing massive headaches for operators.
Yeah, the devil is really in the details here.
It always is. Let's look at the numbers from the source because they highlight a huge disconnect. UpMenu offers a basic plan for $49 a month.
Which sounds great.
On the surface, yeah. $50 a month sounds like an absolute spiel for an independent cafe. But the catch is that it caps out at just 90 orders a month. 90.
Yeah. When you break that down into daily volume, the restriction becomes glaringly obvious for any functional business.
It is barely 3 orders a day. If you have a single, moderately busy Friday night, you have blown through your entire monthly allowance in 4 hours.
You're totally capped out.
It's like buying a high-end sports car but being told you can only drive it to the end of your driveway. Or signing a lease for a massive commercial kitchen, but the landlord casually mentions you're only allowed to turn on the ovens for 10 hours a month.
It defeats the entire purpose of the investment.
Right. I mean, is this just a classic case of paying for a bundle of things you can't properly use?
It absolutely is. And the costs escalate incredibly fast once you try to actually run a high-volume business on that infrastructure.
Give me an example.
Let's look at, say, a successful local restaurant group that has expanded to 5 locations. To get past those basic order caps, they have to move up to UpMenu's standard plan, which sits at $89 a month per location.
Okay, doing the math in my head.
Suddenly, that business is looking at an annual software bill of between $5,000 and $6,400.
Wow.
And we need to be very clear about how these systems operate because that subscription cost does not include payment processing fees.
Wait, let's pause and explain that mechanic, because I think a lot of people outside the industry assume the monthly software fee just, covers everything. How does that payment processing actually work in the background?
So whenever a customer swipes a credit card or pays online, a payment gateway, which is essentially the digital toll booth processing the transaction, takes a cut.
Okay, the toll booth. I like that.
This is standard across the board. It is usually around 2.5 to 3.5% of the total transaction, plus a flat 10 to 30 cents per swipe.
Right, so even if you're not paying Uber Eats, they're 30%.
Yeah, exactly. The restaurant is paying the hefty $5,000 annual software subscription to UpMenu, but they are still losing roughly 3% of every single transaction to the credit card processors. So the margins are still getting squeezed, just from a different direction.
Man, that's rough. And compounding that frustration is the trial period. The sources note that UpMenu only offers a 7-day free trial.
Which is wild.
It's completely useless.
Yeah.
If you are auditing complex operational tech, a week is nothing. You might have a slow week because it rained for 4 days, or maybe a massive uncharacteristic spike because a local festival was happening down the street.
Yeah, a 7-day window doesn't provide enough data to test real order flow or kitchen pacing or even customer adoption. The industry standard for evaluating this kind of heavy operational software is a 14 to 30-day window. Minimum, yeah. Furthermore, the higher tiers of these platforms often justify their high price tags by bundling in features like SMS marketing campaigns, automated emails, push notifications.
All the bells and whistles.
Right. And this requires a CRM, a customer relationship management system, which is essentially a smart digital Rolodex that tracks customer habits. But the day-to-day reality of running a restaurant is chaotic.
Totally.
A head chef or an owner-operator is usually too busy putting out literal and metaphorical fires during a dinner rush to sit down at a laptop and craft a highly nuanced SMS marketing strategy.
They just don't have the time.
Exactly. They are paying a premium for a massive suite of tools they simply do not have the operational bandwidth to utilize.
Which perfectly sets up the first major evolutionary pivot we are seeing in the guide. We are moving from the problem of, paying for a bloated bundle you don't use to operators seeking extreme, ruthless simplicity.
They want to trim the fat.
Exactly. Restaurants are actively trimming the fat. So the ultimate budget pick highlighted in our sources is a platform called Menubly.
Menubly swings the pendulum in the complete opposite direction. It strips away all the theoretical marketing tools and focuses entirely on execution.
The pricing is incredibly disruptive, too. It's $9.99 a month.
$10.
For $10, you get absolutely no CRM, no SMS marketing tools, no email automation. You get a simple QR code menu, unlimited orders, and 0 commissions. That's it. And it takes minutes to set up.
And it is vital to understand the mechanics of why that QR code model is so lean.
Right, because it shifts the work.
Yes. The restaurant isn't building a custom app that a customer has to download from an app store, which, by the way, is a massive point of friction. Nobody wants to download a new app for one sandwich.
Oh, I hate doing that. I'll literally just go somewhere else if I have to download an app.
Exactly. So instead, the customer just opens their smartphone camera, scans the barcode on the table, and a lightweight web page instantly loads the menu. The customer places the order on their own device.
And for venues where the entire operational model is strictly focused on the in-house dining experience, the tech gets even more specialized.
Yeah, tell them about Enatega.
Right, so Enatega is a platform that runs $17 a month, and it is pure contactless QR table ordering.
Just for dine-in.
Strictly dine-in.
Yeah.
The customer sits down, scans the code, and their order is routed straight to the bar or the kitchen printer. It completely eliminates the friction of waiting 10 minutes for a server to notice you, drop off water, and take an initial drink order.
It solves a highly specific labor bottleneck without overcomplicating the back-end software for the management team.
But what if a restaurant needs a bridge between that super basic digital QR menu and a full-blown point-of-sale system. Because Square for Restaurants is fascinating here.
It really is a unique model.
Their base plan is completely free, $0 a month for a real POS system and online ordering. But wait, how is Square offering complex point-of-sale software for free? What is the catch there?
Well, the catch brings us back to the payment processing mechanics we discussed earlier.
The toll booth.
The toll booth. Square is, at its core, a payment processing company. They willingly absorb the high cost of developing and hosting the software because giving you a quote-unquote free digital ecosystem guarantees that you will use their proprietary card readers and their payment gateway.
So they get you on the swipe.
They make their profit back and then some on that 2.6% swipe fee every single time a customer buys a sandwich. You only start paying a monthly subscription fee, which is $60 a location for their Plus plan, if you need advanced logistical features like detailed digital floor plans or kitchen display systems.
Let's do a quick translation for anyone not living in a commercial kitchen. A kitchen display system, or a KDS, is that glowing screen you see above the prep station where the paper tickets used to hang.
Yeah, the digital ticket rail.
Right. It digitally organizes the incoming orders so the line cooks know exactly what to fire and when.
Exactly. And what's fascinating here is how platforms like Manubly, Menutiger, and the free tier of Square reflect a fundamental behavioral shift among owners.
How so?
Well, for the last decade, the broader tech industry has pushed this narrative of the all-in-one sauce trap. They tried to convince small business owners they desperately needed enterprise-level suites.
Right, you need everything.
But we are now seeing a massive rejection of that philosophy. A small neighborhood cafe or a 3-person food truck doesn't want predictive AI marketing. They want operational reliability.
They just want the printer to work when someone buys a coffee.
Yes. They are actively choosing a single, perfectly calibrated thermometer over a complex digital weather station. They want a tool that executes one specific task flawlessly.
I love that analogy. But let's transition to the next evolving problem. What if a butter knife just isn't enough?
Right. What if you need the whole kitchen sink?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's say you are running a high-volume operation. You have 15 tables inside, 5 delivery drivers waiting outside, and 30 online orders pinging the system every single hour.
That simple QR code is going to fail under that weight.
It's going to crash and burn. You absolutely need the complex weather station at that point, and you need your digital online orders talking directly to your physical kitchen staff in real time without anyone manually punching orders into a register.
And when you hit that volume, you graduate to the operational behemoths.
The heavy hitters.
Yeah, these are the heavy-duty systems explicitly engineered to bridge the chaotic physical reality of a restaurant floor with its digital footprint.
Let's look at Toast POS first. This is the massive full-stack alternative. It manages front of house, back of house, online ordering, payroll, inventory, literally everything.
It's a monster of a system.
They offer a free starter plan, but the paid tiers scale up to about $165 a month. But honestly, I have to push back on this model a bit. Doesn't going all in on a massive platform like Toast just trap you in a completely different way?
How do you mean?
Well, you escape the Uber Eats commission trap, sure, but now you are entirely locked into Toast's specific proprietary hardware, their screens, and their mandatory payment processing.
That is the concept of vendor lock-in, and you're spot on. It is the ultimate trade-off in restaurant tech. You get the immense convenience of a beautifully integrated ecosystem where, an online order from a customer's couch pops up instantly on the KDS screen in front of the fry cook.
It's seamless.
The systems talk to each other perfectly, but to achieve that harmony, you surrender a massive degree of autonomy to the vendor. You can't just plug a different credit card reader into a Toast terminal if you find a cheaper processing rate down the line. You are locked into their walled garden.
Right. And as a counterpoint to that lock-in, the guide highlights Rescue POS. They operate on custom pricing, but they offer something highly unusual for independent restaurants.
Yeah, this is a cool feature.
It is. They offer a custom-branded mobile ordering app. Now, usually getting a dedicated app in the iOS store with your own restaurant's logo is a luxury reserved for the highest, most expensive enterprise tiers.
The big national chains.
Exactly. But Rescue includes it natively, along with built-in delivery driver management, and they still charge 0 commission fees on those online orders. It's a really compelling way to get that behemoth level of functionality while maintaining strong brand independence.
And if an operator is managing, say, a sprawling empire of restaurants across a city, The operational requirements shift yet again.
That's where Lightspeed comes in, right?
Yes. Platforms like Lightspeed, which runs around $69 a month, step into this void. Lightspeed is tailored for multi-location businesses that require granular food cost tracking and centralized reporting.
Okay, but how granular are we talking? Like, how does a piece of software actually track physical food?
It relies on deep API integrations.
Okay, APIs.
Right, an API is essentially a digital handshake that allows two different pieces of software to share data instantly. In Lightspeed, the POS system is tightly integrated with the master inventory database.
So they talk to each other constantly.
Exactly. So if you have a central office managing 6 locations, the software knows the exact recipe for your signature burger. Every single time a cashier rings up that burger across any of the 6 zip codes, the software automatically deducts 1 bun, 4 ounces of ground beef, and an eighth of a diced onion from the master inventory in real time.
Whoa, that is wild.
It allows ownership to track theoretical food costs against actual usage, and they can spot waste or theft immediately.
That is incredible visibility. Now, on the flip side of these massive operations, you have Spotin. Spotin offers a free base plan, but their unique market angle is that they require absolutely no long-term contracts.
Which is an incredible anomaly in the heavy point-of-sale industry.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Normally, if a company is installing complex KDS screens, specialized routers, heavy-duty cash registers, they demand a 3 to 5 year ironclad contract.
You're stuck with them.
You're totally stuck. The software company is heavily subsidizing the upfront costs of that physical hardware, sometimes handing over $3,000 worth of electronics, so they legally lock the restaurant in for half a decade to ensure they recoup that investment via monthly fees and swipe charges.
That makes sense from their side.
It does. But Spawn bucks that trend entirely by refusing to lock operators in.
So what does this all mean when we step back? Looking at Toast, Rescue, Lightspeed, and Spotin together, it seems like mid-sized and large restaurants are making a very strategic swap.
A shift in philosophy.
Right. They are willingly trading away those invisible bloated software subscription fees from the UpMenu days and instead making tangible hardware investments. They want a truly unified central nervous system where the in-house dining room and the out-of-house delivery network are finally speaking the exact same digital language.
They are choosing to invest in foundational infrastructure rather than endlessly renting piecemeal software. But, that transition from renting to owning leads us to the most radical paradigm shift in the entire guide.
Oh, I'm ready for this.
The final stage of this evolution asks 2 wild questions. First, what if you want to put your restaurant's revenue growth on absolute autopilot? Or second, what if you want to stop renting your technology entirely and own the code yourself?
Here's where it gets really interesting. Because if we are talking about growth on autopilot, we have to look at UpMenu.
UpMenu is fascinating.
It's built for the tech-savvy mavericks. Now, it is priced at $149 a month, which is definitely on the higher end of the spectrum, but their approach is wild. This isn't just a passive ordering tool, right? It is an active AI-driven marketing engine. It utilizes interactive digital menus and behavior-based automated campaigns.
And the mechanics behind that behavior tracking are what make it so potent. It isn't magic, it is highly effective data harvesting.
How does it work?
Well, when a customer orders through UpMenu, they usually create an account or provide an email address. The system also drops digital tracking cookies on their browser. The AI begins building a highly detailed consumer profile.
Okay, so it watches what you do.
Right. If the data shows that a specific user consistently orders, say, vegan tacos every single Tuesday at 6 p.m., the system flags that behavior.
So the AI learns their routine, and then maybe it automatically sends them a highly targeted push notification or a customized email promo on a Monday afternoon offering a free side of guacamole if they order their usual tacos tomorrow.
Exactly that. It is actively hunting for repeat revenue and triggering psychological cravings while the chef is in the back simply chopping cilantro.
That is slightly terrifying, but also incredibly genius.
It is incredibly powerful. But, as you pointed out, it comes with a high monthly subscription cost. And for some highly capable entrepreneurs, that continuous monthly drain paying for software forever is exactly the model they want to destroy.
They want out.
They want total control. And that brings us to the true ownership route.
This is where we look at Orderable. Orderable is a plugin designed for WordPress and WooCommerce, and it costs $149 a year. Let's run that math really quickly. UpMenu is nearly $1,800 annually. Orderable is a flat $150 a year. But hold on, I have to play devil's advocate here.
Go for it.
You are telling an exhausted restaurant owner who just spent 12 hours smoking briskets and managing staff that they need to go home, log into a complex WordPress dashboard, manage web hosting servers, and troubleshoot plugin conflicts. I mean, that sounds like an absolute nightmare for a chef.
It absolutely can be a nightmare if the operator lacks basic technical literacy.
Right.
It requires an upfront investment of time and frustration, but you have to weigh that against the ultimate trade-off, which is absolute data sovereignty. When you build on WordPress and WooCommerce, you own the website architecture.
It's yours.
It's entirely yours. You own every single byte of customer data, the emails, the order history. It cannot be held hostage by a third-party platform changing its terms of service, and you never pay a single cent in commission.
Absolute sovereignty. You own the digital real estate. And if Orderable is taking ownership of your website, then Enatega is taking ownership of the entire delivery universe.
Yes, Enatega is wild.
This is the ultimate off-grid option detailed in our sources. Enatega is an open-source, white-label food delivery system. You pay a single, one-time license fee to acquire the underlying code. And for that single fee, you get the customer-facing ordering app, the complex restaurant management dashboard, and the GPS routing app for your own fleet of delivery drivers.
Let's quickly define what white label means in this context, because it is crucial.
Yeah, break that down.
White label software is essentially a highly functional blank digital template. Enatega provides the complex underlying code, the payment routing, the GPS mapping, but it is entirely unbranded.
It's a blank canvas.
Exactly. The restaurant operator takes that code, slaps their own logo, their own custom colors, and their own typography onto it. So when the local customer downloads it from the iOS store, they think their neighborhood burger joint just spent $500,000 coding a flawless proprietary delivery app.
It is the ultimate illusion of scale. But, I mean, why go through the hassle of managing open source code?
Because if we connect this to the bigger picture, platforms like Orderable and Enatega represent a radical philosophical rebellion against the whole software as a service business model.
The anti-sauce movement.
Right. For the last decade, the tech industry has conditioned business owners to accept that software is a utility, like electricity, that you must subscribe to forever.
You just pay the bill every month.
But for a tech-capable cloud kitchen or a highly organized local restaurant group, buying an open-source system outright represents a massive shift. Even if you have to hire a freelance developer once a year to fix an API bug, paying a one-time setup fee is vastly cheaper over a 5-year timeline than paying any monthly subscription, no matter how small.
It shifts technology from being a continuous operational expense to being a capital asset that the business actually owns.
Precisely.
Let's use a real-world analogy. It is exactly like deciding to finally pull the trigger and buy a house after years of dealing with a landlord who just keeps raising the rent.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
When you buy the house, you stop paying rent entirely. But the trade-off is that when the plumbing breaks at 2 in the morning, you can't just call the super. You have to grab a wrench and fix it yourself or pay a plumber out of pocket. But at the end of the day, the equity is yours.
That is the perfect way to contextualize it.
So synthesizing all of this, choosing a digital platform in 2026 isn't just looking at a feature checklist anymore.
Not at all.
It requires a brutally honest audit of your own operational reality, your technical skill set, and your business goals.
Yeah, you have to know who you are as a business.
Exactly. Are you a lean, fast-moving food truck that needs the sheer, unbloated simplicity of a $10 Menubly QR code? Or are you a sprawling, multi-location enterprise that relies on the heavy-duty API integrations of Lightspeed to track every ounce of inventory?
Right.
Or, are you a tech-savvy cloud kitchen ready to buy in Enatega, build your own app, and go totally off the grid?
The choices out there really reflect the incredible diversity of the restaurant industry itself. There is no universally perfect piece of software. There is only the software that perfectly matches the operational mechanics of your specific business model.
You have to match the digital tools to the physical reality of the dream you had when you first decided to open the doors.
And, looking at these open source white label solutions like Enatega, it leaves me with a lingering thought about the future trajectory of local hospitality.
Oh, what's that?
Well, think about it. If an independent restaurant can now purchase their own fully functional GPS-tracked delivery app for a simple one-time fee, what happens when they start talking to their neighbors?
Oh, wow.
Right. Are we approaching a future where local independent restaurants on the same street band together, pool their technical resources, and create their own cooperative citywide delivery networks?
A local co-op.
Yeah. Could the exact digital tools that were originally designed to simply bypass DoorDash and Uber Eats eventually be used to replace them entirely at the local level?
A neighborhood-owned delivery fleet. The restaurants owning the code, owning the data, and taking the whole system back. That is an incredible vision of the future to chew on.
It really is.
Well, thank you for joining us on this journey through the hidden digital kitchen. Keep questioning the systems around you, keep supporting your local spots, and we will catch you on the next deep dive.